Mmm. Oh, that's good coffee, fellas. Nothing like a warm cup of coffee on a chilly morning. Got my dirty old blue sweatshirt on. Nice and cozy here in my modeling shop. Got the Sky Striker done. It's behind me. It's over there. All's right with the world, fellas. I spent a lot of time masking and painting. I spent a lot of time deliberating on how I wanted to do the base. And I think what I came up with eventually really sets the model off, and I'm pretty proud of it. It's got a lot of color in it, kind of contrasts with the kind of the dirty and grubbiness of the plane, and brings it more back into from the realistic to the cartoonish. It's kind of like a hodgepodge, but I think it really works. One of the guys I've been watching for a while, he puts out knife videos, Doc P. I recently found out he's got a modeling channel, Air Force Builder, and I think he posted yesterday a video on how he does bases, and it's a pretty good idea. I hadn't really thought of it. It's just a slightly different method than what I use. So if you're interested in seeing another modeling channel, see how he does his bases, check him out, Air Force Builder. The fall, winter months, this is the time of year that I quit taking commission builds typically, and focus on stuff that I want to do, and kind of keeps me, I don't know, keeps me going. There's a little bit of pressure whenever you build for somebody else, and it kind of takes some of the fun out of it. There are advantages and disadvantages of doing commission builds, but anyway, a lot of these builds that I do during this time period, I'll put them up on eBay. I'm probably going to put this one up for sale on eBay as well, so if anybody's interested, check it out. I mean, I'm not here to sell anybody anything. It is what it is. But I set my reserve at $0, or I set my price at $1 with no reserve. So, somebody might get lucky and get a really cool 1/48 scale Sky Striker for $5. Who knows? So, anyway, I'll quit yapping. We'll take a look at the plane, and stay tuned. At the end of the video, I did add a panel line wash kind of tutorial type thing for guys that have been asking me a few questions about how I do panel line washes. So, all right, let's take a look at it. All right, here it is, fellas. Let's start off with the base, and I think I show this at the end of this video. I'll include a bonus feature, and it's just me kind of explaining panel line washes. I've had a couple questions from guys just getting back into the hobby about how to do those. So I added a little, I don't know, maybe 6-7 minute video on how I do panel line washes, but I also show the base on there too because I filmed that a couple days ago. Anyway, we'll start off with the base. This is all hand painted, masked and airbrushed. Used my Cricut to cut out the G.I. Joe logo. Just masked off the stripes, and used the Cricut to cut out some stars, and then used a little bit of airbrushing magic. Basically put tape down and just kind of sprayed along to a center point to make it look like the stars pop out, which I thought was kind of cool. Anyway, there's the base. The acrylic rods are put in at an angle. I think I used about a 25 or 30 degree angle coming back, so it kind of sets the model back. Otherwise, it was going to be really far forward. And then I bent acrylic rod, which runs into the end of the exhaust, obviously, that you can see. But I do have some tubing that the exhaust fit into up forward of the exhaust, so it fits in there nice and tight. It's not just inside this big opening. It's actually in a tight fitting tube inside the plane. The wings go back and forth, and they do come off. Oh, I'm losing stuff. Darn it! All my missiles and fuel tanks are magnetized, so it does operate that way. Now, the color is not really anywhere close to what the toy is, but I wanted a kind of somewhat realistic version of the Sky Striker, and I think I've achieved that. I didn't really over-weather it. Like a lot of things, I just, you can spend days doing tweaking little things. I could have added the streaks that are typical on the Tomcat, but I liked it the way it was, so that's how I left it. The only issue that I had was when I unmasked the canopy, there's a little bitty goober that's stuck inside the canopy and it won't dislodge from the window. It was up here and I shook it and I got it to move back here, but you know, is what it is. Eventually it may just fall down and not be seen, but there is a little bit of goober. On the inside of the windscreen, I painted that with, sprayed that with Tamiya X-28, the clear green, and I think it turned out really cool. You know, not much else to say about it other than it was a lot of masking and painting. See if we can get it removed without stuff falling off so we can get a better look at it. And this does fit in tight. All right. Here's the bottom. And like I said, all of the wares are magnetized. Fuel tanks, and I painted the fuel tanks a little bit darker. I know it's not realistic, but the tanks and missiles and stuff on the actual toy were darker, so I thought, yeah, I'll just paint these darker just to be different. They all pop off, and I've started just using one magnet, and it works much better than what I had been doing. So I leave the stubs on, and then I just put a magnet in the middle, and then they attach. And it takes up a lot less time, and dang it, I keep knocking that stupid thing off. And this one's in tight. But yeah, they all come off and just fit on like that. So the Sky Striker over here is not exactly the same as the toy, but it's pretty darn close. I had to do a little manipulating in the Cricut program, and I added these little arrows and stuff to resemble it a little more. But overall, I think it's a pretty neat representation of the G.I. Joe Sky Striker. I thought about building or altering the pilots to make it look like maybe Ace and somebody else from the G.I. Joe lineup. But based on my last efforts with the SR-71, I wasn't real happy with those pilots, and I thought I'll just throw some generic pilots in there. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but there it is, folks. I will flash up some pictures, and you can take a look at those a little more close up. And then if you want, stay tuned at the end for the I don't really want to call it a tutorial. It's just basically how I do my panel line washes. So I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time. All right, what I'm doing now is a panel line wash. As you can see, I got my decals on, and I've put a clear coat over top. And for the clear coat, I use Tamiya X22, which is the clear gloss. Now, I've had a lot of questions about what type of panel line washes to use. Well, that's going to totally depend on what your base coat is. You want to, if you use acrylics, you're going to probably want to use a mineral spirits based wash, like or enamel based wash like what I've got here, which is Ammo MIG, which is pretty good. The particles, the pigment seems to settle down pretty quickly, so you got to keep it stirred. I usually pour it out in a separate little container like I've got here, so I can keep it stirred up. Otherwise, the pigment gets kind of thin, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. You can also use oil paints, thin down with mineral spirits, or just take straight oil paint and put it in there and wipe it away. If you use an enamel base paint, then you're going to want to use probably an acrylic type panel line wash. Now, I'm not big on acrylic panel line washes, but some people like them. So you just want to make sure that the panel line wash isn't going to rip the paint off of your base coat. So that's the main thing. So enamel over acrylic is good. Oil over acrylic is good. Acrylic over enamel is good. But you don't want to put enamel over enamel, because that's gonna wreck your paint work. So anyway, after this is all clear coated and it's had a good chance to dry, you can do this a number of different ways. Now, you can come in here and just smear it all over the plane. I don't really like this method. I think it just wastes paint. So what I typically like to do is I like to do a pen wash. And for that, I just get some on my brush. Whoa, that's a little much. And I like to use these thicker brushes because it holds more paint. I don't have to go back in there. And I'll just take it and tap it in a panel line, and it will flow along the panel line using capillary action. I like saying that word, capillary. And, you know, it doesn't really matter if you get a little messy. Now, some people have asked me if you have to do this over a gloss coat, and no, you don't. You just want to make sure that it's not, the panel wash you're using is not going to rip off your paint. If you use a matte coat, then underneath your panel line wash, it's just going to be a little bit harder to remove it. And that may be an effect that you want, because you can use this to create streaking as well. And I'll show you that here in a minute. So I'm just getting my panel line wash in there. And I will set this aside to dry. Now, I've got a couple of my wings over here that should be pretty dry. Let me check. Yeah, they're mostly dry. So I've went ahead and I've got these all ready to go. So I'm just going to take a paper towel, and I'm going to come and I'll go down the airflow of the wing, and I'll just wipe. Now, with a gloss coat, this wipes away pretty easily. But you can vary it by taking just a little bit off. Now, I've got streaks here. I really want to clean that up, but you can make streaks happen just by wiping it away and leaving it like so. Okay, we can see that with the light. But you can leave it like that, or you can just come and wipe all of it away, just leave it in the panel lines. Now, when you use a flat or a matte finish, you may need to put just a little bit of mineral spirits on your paper towel, and that will aid in removing a lot of the panel line wash that's not in the panel lines that you want removed. So, but with a nice gloss coat on here like this, and with this type of panel line wash, you really don't need to wet it down with mineral spirits. You just rub it off. So while I sit here and rub off my model, I will take care of all the other panel lines. And you can vary the colors like I did with my SR-71. This one, it's kind of a cartoonish slash realistic type hybrid. So I really want to accentuate them. I just think it'll look cool and stand out. So typically I don't use a real dark panel line wash on my planes, but in this case I'm opting for that. You can use a darker gray. Really, you can use any colors you want, but I really want them to pop out. So I'm using my black panel line wash for this. I do have one more thing to show you. So here is the base, and I'm pretty proud of it. It's I did a lot of masking, and it's still a little tacky. I've got a flat coat on top, but I drilled the holes at an angle and then bent some acrylic rod that are going to insert into some holes that I have into the exhaust of the plane, so it's going to kind of sit up at an angle. But did a little airbrush magic on the stars, and I think that kind of adds a little extra to it. The only thing that I have to do after this top flat coat dries, then I will glue my felt liner on the bottom, cut it off, and this should be ready to display this G.I. Joe Sky Striker. So I'm going to get on with weathering this a little bit, and I'll catch you in a bit.